Good morning. I'm Brad. Welcome to the Little Green Schoolhouse here at Upland Range. You may or may not be aware, but there is an internet subculture out there. I'll say a YouTube subculture full of bibliophiles, literarians, people who just like to read and enjoy and collect books. Now, collectively, these folks are known as BookTube. It's a thriving, wonderful community. A lot of great people out there with a lot of passion involved in their book collection and their reading enjoyment. A lot of wonderful content and videos. And I'm here to throw my hat in with them. Hopefully with a unique perspective. I'll let you be the judge. But since this is my very first video, I'd like to, I honestly just became aware of the fact that there is a BookTube Newbie tag out there that is sort of a rite of passage for your first video. I don't know how stringently that this is enforced, but I thought just for fun I'd go ahead and play along. Now, as I understand it, there's an official list of 7 questions and some others that have been added along the way, but I'd like to go ahead and address at least those first 7, and maybe some of the other things will pop up in future videos, hopefully if you choose to continue watching. So the first question, and I'll probably be looking down here because I've got the list written here on just a sheet of paper. Number 1 question is, why did you start this channel? Which I think is more than fair. So a little bit of an introduction. My wife and I, and when I say my wife and I mean predominantly my wife, we homeschool our 2 young children, ages 5 and 8. She also runs a small sort of homeschool preschool operation here just for regional preschool age children that come down. And so in effort to do that, what I did is I bought a 12-foot by 32-foot lofted shed, and I finished it out into a sort of a one-room schoolhouse right here on the farm. Kind of ideally is supposed to be a sort of a premium learning environment, separated from the distractions of their bedrooms, the TV, the refrigerator, all the things in the house. So they come out here and they're just immersed in their education. Now we have a goal of educating our kids with as classical an education as possible. And in order to do that, another goal that we have, which as of this video, I'm making it an official goal right now, is we aim to collect the most culturally significant homeschool library in existence. Now, I understand that's a tall order. I think we've got a pretty good head start on it. And as our children grow, so too will the library, of course. And not just only the classics, the obvious educational type material, the fun stuff, the things that you as you read, you forget that you're actually learning while you read, and plenty of just genre fiction, the whole gamut of literature, as much as possible. Anything to really stimulate that joy of holding a book in your hand. We're talking the stuff that has built culture over the generations, from antiquity all the way up to the modern era. And so stick along as we grow. I invite you along to watch that journey, and we'll show some reviews of things that we have collected, old and new and upcoming. So stick around for that. I think these will be a lot of fun. And that is actually a great segue into the second question. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to this BookTube community? And I think that's kind of the hook right there, is the fact that this is a homeschool library, hence the name of the channel. Our homeschool library, the educational aspect of it, reviews of books that are not only, again, just your standard encyclopedia type stuff, reference books for children, and man, there are some great ones. I'm really excited to show you those. There's a lot of booktube channels out there, but I have yet to see this specific kind of a focus. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. At least it's going to be fun for me to do, to peruse our growing library, which I'm a book fan. I love to do. I love to read. Excuse me. And I think, yeah, hopefully that you'll enjoy it as much as we do. What am I most excited for? I think that's exactly it. Is showing some of these books that we've got, exploring them together as we go through them with our kids. The new things that we get. Who's not excited to get new books? Look through those. There may be some unboxing videos as things get ordered and are coming in. I think that's the passion, really, of everyone behind YouTube, isn't it? Is getting those books, sharing them with others, telling them why we love them, why we appreciate them, why we find them useful. Why love reading? Question 4. What's not to love? Really, I think that's a fair question, but it's almost like, why do you like your favorite foods? Because I do. It suits me. Books, literature in general are a treasure. I understand the ease and convenience of e-readers and Kindles and you're reading books on your phone. Sure, it's handy, but I don't see the fun. There's something that is just palpable of having a book in your hand with the written word, a hard copy that you can connect with something like that. It's real. It's vivid. It's vibrant. It's a correlation between your imagination and something tangible that you just can't get any other way. It's just stimulating for your imagination, stimulating for your soul. I truly believe. That's why I love reading. And I think when you get down to it, I think that's a pretty similar answer that most people would give you. Question number 5, as I have it, is what book or series got you into reading? Well, I started reading at a very young age. I was read to as a child, daily, multiple times daily. Just everything you could think of. Bible stories, poetry, excuse me, little old books that my grandpa had memorized as a child growing up reading. Going to the library, I remember getting my first library card in the early 80s, checking out all the Curious George books and the Frog and Toad, books about dinosaurs, anything that I could get my hands on. And I read so much that all my school teachers, they always said I was reading far beyond my actual grade level because I always needed more. It's not that I was necessarily above my reading level, I guess. It's just that I'd read all that. And the only way that I could get more was to keep going. But what book specifically? I guess what really sort of moving into out of young childhood into what I still kind of love is my dad's Louis L'Amour books. Just a slew of paperbacks that he had collected, was gifted over the years. As soon as he read one, he'd give it to me, and I'd go through them. Read those all multiple times. From there, my grandpa's Tarzan books, and many other just wow, excuse me, got a weird tickle here all of a sudden. Lots of different genre fiction. I was also gifted as a child a nice children's hardback classics, like legit classics. I need to show you some of those here very soon. But one in particular really, I think, cemented my joy of literature, especially as a male. This is boy fodder here, and the book was Treasure Island. That is probably, that book more than anything whetted my appetite for literature. I think it's even dedicated to all the big and little boys who read it. Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Treasure Island tailor-made for me. Tailor-made for countless little boys, and not just little boys, but boys, girls, grown-ups, adults, children, kids of all ages. Much like Walt Disney, he didn't just make movies for children. He made movies for the children in all of us. That is what Treasure Island was for me. I have read that book more times than any other book in my library. By far. I have no idea how many times I have read Treasure Island cover to cover. I can quote large sections of it. I absolutely love that book. From there, it extended into probably my second favorite book of all time, which as an adult, I learned was actually originally written in response to my number one favorite book, Treasure Island, and that is H. Rider Haggard's King Solomon's Mines. And that, of course, was my gateway into all of the other adventure fiction out there. King Solomon's Mines, Treasure Island, those are my two. If I'm ever alone on a deserted island, treasure or not, those are the two books that I'm going to have with me. Treasure Island, King Solomon's Mines. That's what got me to love reading. That's why I continue to love reading. I continue to love those books. And from there, it has just branched out into many, many wonderful things. The next question that I have, which I think is number 6, is what questions would I ask my fellow booktubers? And that's a good question. I think the number one, maybe number 2 question that I would ask them is, number 1, how do you find the time to do all of this reading? Simply put, it's legit question. I don't get it. I love reading. I read a lot. I go through a lot of books. Some of you guys, how? Do you have jobs? Do you have families? Me, I do. I work a full-time job. We operate a small farm here in addition to the homeschool operation. There's kids' activities. Honestly, I feel guilty sometimes just sitting down, taking a break to read. Most of the reading that I get done is I get up early. I work at 5:30 in the morning. I get up early enough that I have a couple of cups of coffee and I'll read 3-4 chapters of a book, depending on the book, while I'm having my coffee before I have to get up and go to work. And that's really about the only time that I have to read, many times. Of course, if I get this channel going, maybe I'm going to have to figure out more ways to add some reading time into my daily schedule. But that's where I'm at. And I tell you what, I've never had time to be bored. I don't know what that feels like. So I don't plug my boredom time with reading. That's just another thing that I like to add because I love doing it so much. I truly admire you folks so much out there that have all those books and do all that reading and the reading events. I'm really amazed. I don't get it, but I'm going to try. I really am. And number two, man, where do you find some of those? Some of you guys out there have got collections of, especially your genre fiction and such. It's wow. I'm super impressed with your book budget. I really am. That's awesome. I'd say there's a lot of people out there that they like to make a big deal about that Castle Library in Beauty and the Beast. Belle can have that one. I'd say there's some of you folks out there on BookTube. Belle can have that one. I want yours. Very impressive. And the last question I think that we'll get to here, question number 7, the last of the official BookTube newbie questions, might be the most personal. And what BookTube channel challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? I think for that, and this coming from someone who has been a podcaster for many years. I'm the host of Wild West Podcast. I don't do the writing for that. I do assist with a lot of the research, but I'm the narrator. It's been a great podcast to do. We've been ranked number 1 and number 2 for many years as far as historical podcasts. We've got a great audience out there, but I tell you, it's a struggle to keep that audience. There's so much competition out there that, if you miss a week or two putting out content, your numbers drop through the floor. And in starting this YouTube channel, I know that those challenges are going to be very similar. I don't think I will ever have the technology or the skill or just the general quality of videos that I have seen in some of your folks' channels. And I know how hard you've worked to get there. It shows. It's very clear. I'm doing this because I just love the content. I hope that through my efforts in my humble channel that I've gotten started, I hope it'll grow. I really do, as far as the quality, and maybe get, Lord willing, if this ever becomes monetized, my stars, that would be fantastic as far as being able to update the technology and things that I'm able to make quality videos with, in addition to adding to the library. But being able to hook that audience and get the views together and just drive people to this channel, that's going to be the hardest part, I think. I really do. Everything else comes easy. I know I want to do this. I know I've got the books to do it. And I think I've got a unique enough idea for this channel that it'll bring some people in, but they've got to be able to find it first. And so being able to find those people and convince them to not only spend part of their day watching your guys' channels, but to watch mine too. I think that's going to be quite a challenge. I think I'm up to it. And I look forward to engaging with many of you, established booktubers as well. Those of you who just like to watch folks like us as we put ourselves out there and cough and wheeze and make a fool of ourselves all over YouTube, hopefully for your benefit, and show you what we love to do. I think that's going to be worth it. And no matter what the challenges are, just being able to make this content and put it out there. And Lord willing, somebody will find it and it'll speak to them personally as much as it does to myself and my wife and my family. That's why I'm doing this. And with that, I'll leave it at that. I look forward to showing you folks the rest of the schoolhouse here, bringing out some books in the near future and showing you those, doing some reviews. Maybe even getting the kids on here one day and tell you what they like about their homeschool library. So once again, this is Brad from the Little Green Schoolhouse at Upland Ranch, signing off. See you next time. Bye.